It's the real word. It's the real word. It's the real word. It's the real word.
We on a mission and that's bringing y'all the truth. You know the problem, but we get into the root. The devil watching, yeah, he always on pursuit. But Jesus is our rock, so we shall not be moved. We on a winning team, so we can't lose. We say facts, cause we hitting y'all with proof. Started from the bottom, now we standing on the roof. As God as our witness, we gon' make it to the moon. When you want the truth, the world be hiding it. This the real word, we providing it. We got Acee, BK, Truth, Rick Star, and we plan to make a movie like it's Pixar. We came a long way from the plantation. We just tryna save your souls from damnation. So if you down with the message, tune in every week. It will lead you to the message that you seek.
It's the real word. It's the real word. It's the real word. It's the real word.
Real Word Season 7, Episode 7. This is your co-host, Rickard, Jean-Noel. We welcome you to the show. Thank you to everybody that supported our back to school drive that we had recently in Brownsville, Brooklyn. Shout out to everybody that donated. Shout out to everybody that came out. Shout out to all the people that volunteered that day and that helped us out, of course. Shout out to everybody that follows on Instagram. That's at The Real Word Ministries Inc. on Instagram. The Real Word Ministries Inc. on Instagram. The Real Word 7 on Facebook. www.facebook.com/The Real Word 7 or The Real Word Ministries Inc. on Facebook. You can also catch us on the Brick Network every Tuesday and Thursday, 3 times a day, twice a week. You can also catch us on the Real Word Podcast on Spodify, Apple Podcasts, Soundcloud, and Pandora. I'm here with my co-host. Introduce yourself.
You already know it's the one and only Ace Irving in the building. I'm me on Instagram. Ace Irving 11. If you ain't know 11, it ain't me. Or at my business, Zero Enterprise.
Hey, and I'm here for the first time. I'm a designer. My name is Chiaka, and let's make it happen.
He's the next
Louis, next Louis.
Yeah. So, tell the people more about yourself. How'd you get into designing? How'd you get into this field? And you got a very different style about you, so tell the people a little bit more about yourself.
Definitely. So, ever since young, I always loved to create. And one thing was that, let's say, I'd be in class, for example, I'd be drawing on a desk or something, or just making little flip notes that you just flip through and have like little pictures on it, like dudes running around, jumping, shooting, like all of that stuff. Yeah, I would make those like religiously in class, and it was like the teacher would be like, "Oh, this kid is out here drawing guns and violence. You send him to the principal." Like, we don't. Like, what is this? But so I feel like a certain part of my development as an artist, I kind of stopped doing it because I felt like, every time I'm doing this or I express this kind of creativity, I feel like, I shouldn't be doing it. They tell me I can't be doing this right now. I gotta focus on this, gotta focus on that. So for a certain portion of my life, I knew I liked to draw, but then it faded. I started focusing a little more on school, thinking about things about college. And then when I got wrapped up into that, and I really was thinking about, what do you really want to do? Like, from my heart and soul, what do I really desire or want to see with my life? And I would just think about those times where I was in the classroom younger, just drawing on little flip notes, little sketch pad, little stuff like that. And exactly. So one thing I did was I'd wait for my college classes in this club room where, a lot of students would come, hang out, say what's up. And I was just like, yo, what if I just bought a pair of shoes and I just started painting on them. Like, I'm just gonna do, this looks fun. I haven't had a little fun like this in a while. Yeah. So dudes was just walking by and it was like, yo, how much do you charge? And then that's when something clicked in my head. And I was like, hold up.
I found my talent, baby.
Yo, this is, you know what? I could definitely take this in a certain direction if I really push it.
Of course. I mean, anybody that know how to make art, I think if their mind is right, they could be a very successful businessman.
For a
Most
fact.
definitely. Because, I mean, right now, everybody loves art. Like, fashion is art, technically.
Art is life.
For real.
It shapes everywhere. Architecture, design, even just look at your hand. That also brings me to another idea, the fact that we were designed to create. You know, we're the only animal that is able to think in such a high caliber and be able to create the things that we want to make. Like, for example, dolphins are very smart, but they don't have appendages like us. You know, so I looked at that and I would think, you know, I gotta take that and I gotta live in this world and be what I'm supposed to be. And I know I got the art in here.
Yeah, I mean, you already said it. The guy said, how much you charge it? So that was all the click the bastard for you. Like, yeah, I'm sticking to this. Hey, it doesn't matter what anybody tell me after that.
Nah, for real, for real.
So what's the furthest you want to take this? Like
The
how
furthest?
far? Yeah, like how far do you plan to take this?
Well, it depends, because for example, there was a time where I was in multiple different studios. People would come in with their shoes. They're like, yo, you know, I have this idea. I wanted to get created. I would hang my art around. I was in this glass box on the sidewalk. People would walk by and I would be painting and stuff. And I would just create for them what they wanted. But then I feel like there's certain peaks where I will kind of plateau and now I need to hit another peak to discover what I need for myself. So the first part was boom, you can take your art. After a little while, I was doing it, I was creating logos for tons of people. Then I was like, is this really coming from me now? Because I'm still making everybody's ideas happen, you know. Business people will come to me, I need my logo created, I need this, I need that. That was more design. I wanted to, you know, the art to come from me. So that's where the next part started, where I would take less commissions and just focus on doing things I enjoyed. For example, these pants, I created these and I had a lot of work to do. Yeah, I had a lot of work to do before I created them. I was just like, you know, I got 3 logos over here, I got this, got that. I just need to give my mind a break and I need to make something that I know that I'm gonna enjoy. So I made it, and you know, it was just like a little creative project. But then a couple people start asking me, hey, how many of those do you have? And then that was the next thing, that next light bulb, being like, I don't have to always do something for somebody. I can create, and if your creation is valid, people are gonna want it.
Yeah.
And so that begins my next journey, where I'm going to be creating just to create. And let's say
just wear a whole outfit of your drawing.
exactly.
That's literally, I think, what, like, if I would suggest you to wear like design from head to toe, just your image, and just wear multiple outfits, and people gonna watch you. So when they watch you, they gonna know what you're wearing. Then when they realize it's yours, they gonna want it.
For a fact.
And when the more people you got wearing your stuff, you know, your brand builds.
You ever heard of that brand called Evisu?
Evisu?
Yeah, Evisu. It's like an older brand, but it was Japanese denim, like hard denim, like the hard stiff denim. What they used to do is they used to paint the back pockets of the pants, and sometimes the entire pants from down to the other side. It'd be like a big M. It look like a seagull.
Oh,
yeah.
I think I know what you're talking about. And it'll be like from the leg all the way up.
Yeah.
On the back all the way.
pants,
Yeah,
right?
I've seen that.
Yeah, I remember one of those at one point when I was a kid.
They were a big thing for a while. I would see them everywhere.
Yeah, Evisu jeans.
Whenever we was younger, everybody had those. At one point, it was like a true legit era for those pants.
Yeah. They were called Evisu the denim, and they also had
a name, but I knew exactly how they looked like for sure.
Yeah, and they had red monkeys, where it's like they stitched the whole picture in the back of the pants.
Oh shoot!
So it was like those was staples in the culture because it was different from things that came before, and certain celebrities would wear it and then they would jump it off. Usually they just give the celebrities free clothes to wear because it's like promotion for them. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like they would pay influencers. Like even now, like some companies
That's
reach
a
out.
strategy.
Yeah,
Shoot.
some companies reach out to me sometimes and they will like offer you certain things or they give you certain things.
Oh, nice.
Just like this shirt. I got this shirt for free.
That's fire.
So it's like, you know, I think, especially if you got the right people pushing behind you, I think you can get far. Like it all boils down like networking, who you know, like who will put you in position, how you advertising, how you moving the business. Because you gotta think of the marketing aspect of it too. Because you could create great art if no one gets to see it, then it's like
that's a fact.
You gotta put it out there for people to see.
That's very true.
Yeah, like Instagram, Facebook, and stuff. Yeah, it's better if you like post on all platforms, whatever platform you could, it lets you post.
Build that spider web.
Yeah, like don't just stick to one platform. Make sure you on everything. Honestly, you gotta be everywhere.
Definitely.
But nah, that's for real. Cause like if you just do that part, and then let's say you got other people to wear your clothes, cause I mean sometimes if you're starting from ground up, you might want to just give somebody something just to wear, so then they like it. Then that person go be like, yeah, I got it for them. Then you know people come to you and buy more. For real. You know that idea work too. That idea work too. But what you think about like designer clothes compared to other artists making it like the underground?
For the most part, most designer clothes, they're not really marketed for us. Not really. Like for example, Louis Vuitton, that kind of stuff is real popular. Everybody love the Louis. It's mad expensive, but that's not really something that is for us. Like it's for example, the price, and it's not representing something.
I mean, the people in the lower class are always looking at the high up.
Yeah, everyone's always looking at the high up. But I feel like
top tier.
I could see that. But I feel like that also creates an opportunity for me to create something on my own that is different and is to branch away from the constant normal things that you see. Like the Louis, you want to have the Louis, you want to have the Dior, you want to have the...
So what you think about Dior? Like you think Dior basic? What do you think?
Dior, I feel like all of those brands, they have a creative team behind them. And I'm sure, I feel like brands are the best in the beginning. When you have those couple of dudes who like, yo, we about to make some fire happen. And they start building. But after a while, it comes to a point where it's like...
There's a new artist.
Yeah, it's like, oh nah, we don't even do that work. We hire these dudes to just do a little something, throw it out there, put the name on that.
Yeah, because after the name already gets, hot, they just be like, yo, they're gonna buy it because they're already into it. So like we just could throw them whatever we want to throw them.
For real.
A couple brands be doing that. I'm not going front.
Jordan, recycle the same stuff.
Yo, Jordan is the it's like out of every brand, it's like people are just like, yo, bro, Jordan's never gave you a new pair of shoes.
They will change one color and then give it a cool name and they'll be like, yo, this is fire.
They probably earn that. So most of the Jordan sneakers, people don't really wear Jordans after probably like Jordan 15. So like from Jordan 15 to what, Jordan 34 now?
Oh, that's
35.
a lot.
Nah, that's a lot of Jordan, but nobody wears all the ones.
Everybody loves ones.
Yeah,
everybody loves
1
ones
through 14.
Yeah.
So from those numbers,
The 17's not bad.
yeah, I wouldn't wear those. The only Jordans I wear is 1s, 4s, 11s, 5s depend.
What about 14s?
14s, no.
13s?
No.
12s?
Maybe.
Nah, I like the
12's
12s.
a fire.
12s
Maybe
are
the
fire.
That's
12s
the
I
best
would
part.
wear, but I would want to wear the Chicago Bulls 12s, the black and red one. That would be the one I want.
Yeah, those are.
Those are staple.
Yeah, like
Classic.
those are the ones I wear, but I wouldn't wear every 12s though. But I'm basically saying like
And
it's
so what about the white and blue ones?
white and blue.
Yeah.
Nah, I wear those, but
Yeah,
those
nice
type
too.
I wouldn't wear everywhere because people like to step on your feet.
Mm.
Those are you
After
straight.
that, white shoes.
Yeah, bro. That's why I don't like. This is a lot of white sneakers I would like, but I wouldn't get them because I'm like, yo, this is about to be dirty mad quick. So I would feel like I'm wasting money, Because if you get another color, you don't really gotta put in mad work. Because honestly, I don't want to be cleaning the sneaker every day.
Yeah,
like,
for real.
Every time I wear it, I
Some
gotta
people
clean
do it. Some people do it.
If I gotta do that, that means like, yeah, I don't want it.
Yeah, for real. It's not effective.
Yeah, I don't want it. I'd rather shoot like I don't really gotta clean it every time I wear it. That's why I don't really like to wear white sneakers
For real.
when it comes to that.
But that's also some of the beauty of art itself, and that there's so many different designs. Like he just named, and you're like, yo, I like that. You're like, nah, that's not for me. It's like that's the beautiful part about artwork and how it touches all of us differently.
Yeah, we all got our own styles. I mean, we got the similar styles we like, but we still have our differences. Yeah, but Jordan recycled all the damn time, but people still pay that high price. And right now, Jordan is like can't boost it up too expensive, because I think like the sneaker marketing game right now, they rigging people, like they finessing. That's what they doing. Cause
for real.
Ones was like what, like 160. Ones is like 160, 140. It used to be like 160 and stuff.
It used to be $100.
Yeah, it used to be
when we
100.
was younger.
I remember it was like 95.
But
I walked to
now,
Foot Locker.
every time ones drop, they be talking about $400, $500. I'm like, bro, you might as well take me to the designer store, cause
they're like, how far can I milk this? You're like, get a little bit more out of this.
That's why I don't really mess with Jordans no more, cause it's like, bro, y'all been Jordan, come on, you been coming out with the same basic thing all the time, and now you want to tax people. Like you, all those sneakers from 1 to the 14s, you probably done dropped them sneakers since you was as a Chicago Bull.
Since I was a kid.
Yeah. And they've been reselling them, like all they do is just resell the same sneaker every 2-3 years.
Literally.
But like they be like, yo, they gonna keep wearing it. He's like, y'all complain, but y'all still buying it.
Yeah, they found their effective formula. They just gonna rinse and repeat until
but most people don't wear Jordans because they admire Jordan those. They just buying it because the name and it's popular.
Exactly.
And then you get compliments.
Exactly. Like you could literally take something that most people will call garbage or trash. You slap a name on it, boom, bro, this is Louis.
But everybody gotta be talking about it. It can't just be one person talking about it.
You put anything on Kanye and then say it's Louis, no matter how it looked, they're like, yo, that's fire.
Anything Kanye wear at this point, everybody buying it. Because, come on now, there's so many shoes that he made. I think they don't really look good, but hey, they be like, yo, it's Yeezys. And right now, Yeezys jumped over Jumpman. So anything Kanye wear right now, the public is buying. Like, come on now. We already know how this whole art culture is based off. It's really based off what the celebrities wear. Whatever they wear, you at the lower level, you do whatever it takes to look just like them.
Yeah, that's the power of influence.
Speaking of art and culture, recently Jay-Z and Beyonce did a photo shoot. I think it was for Tiffany's. Yeah, for Tiffany's, and they posed in front of a Basquiat painting. But a lot of people was feeling away because the diamond that they had from Tiffany was stolen. They said so. They felt like the white people stole the diamond from Africa.
Wow, and now the blood diamond.
Yeah, the blood diamond. Basically,
man.
Now Beyonce and Jay-Z in the video.
In some hot water.
Yeah. So what you guys think about that?
How I feel about that? From their perspective, they're like, we're at this certain point. This is another project that we have to do to influence the culture.
Yeah.
To push these people. We're gonna put this brand on us because black people spend a lot of money.
Yeah.
And they're influencers. They have the power of influence.
That's the reason why the rappers is rich right now.
Exactly.
Because the people in the projects, basically Section 8, they be like, hey, y'all made us famous.
Yeah, literally. And, the power of influence, that's what pushed them to do that. I feel like the whole blood diamond thing, there's so much wrong in many places of the world, in many areas of the world, especially when it comes to cultivating natural resources or things that are pretty and expensive. I feel like if we really want to get upset about that, is a point where are you mad about it or are you going to do something different? Are you going to continue to spend all your money on Louis Vuitton and Dior and all these guys who don't care about you? Are you going to support a black designer, at the end of the day?
I mean, you do have a point, Chris.
So what about the black designers that did ended up working for these big fashion houses like Virgil and
Virgil's.
well, what's the other guy name?
The Fear of God sneakers.
No, the
You
other
know
guy,
who that is, right?
the guy that worked for Gucci now, that used to make the other Gucci, it's custom Gucci. Dapper Dan.
Oh
Dapper
yeah.
Dan.
First they were after him at first. Cause he
Yeah,
was making,
copyright.
Yeah, he was making some cool stuff, and they were just like, "Yo, man, we got
Like, you
shut this down. It's more
Copyright.
fire than ours." It's like
They're gonna hit you with that lawsuit. They be like copyrights.
And they hired him. You could tell.
after a while, they're like, "Nah, he got skill."
And you could tell which shoes he's designing. Like you could tell.
Mm-hmm.
Just same thing with Louis and Gucci.
Mhm.
Like now we see the big bolder G's on the Gucci clothes. Like you know what I'm talking about? It's bigger, wider,
Yeah.
and like the style is almost like it's like an old style mixed with a new style now.
Yeah, but I think
Yeah.
Gucci needed that though. You know, you can't just keep it old and regular. Yeah, you know, y'all still gonna make y'all money, but hey, put a little bit more design on that thing. You feel me?
Just like Louis and Off-White, like what Pop Smoke was wearing that Virgil was giving to him.
Yeah.
But then-
Pop Smoke was a fly dude.
But then now they talking about Virgil's also doing things to impact the culture negatively. Like he designed the dress that Kid Cudi wore.
Oh, I mean, we all know Virgo is on the other side, but you know how I feel about that. You know, that's his life. He get to do whatever he want with his life.
I mean, there's a lot of ways to look at it. Like you could look
That's
at
how we
it,
wearing it.
yeah, from like the standpoint of, because after a while, he's like separated from mainstream black culture in a
I don't
way.
think he is for mainstream. I don't think he
Because he's at a certain level in his career, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't think he's for black people. He's more.
Some people
The
just
thing-
for money.
The thing about black and white, this is really what I feel about black and white. I don't think it's really mainly about complexion. I think it's more about how you move.
Yes.
Cause
More of a social thing.
yeah, it's more of like a social thing. Cause
That's
come on now,
very
like if a person didn't grow up in the hood, and if let's say if a black person didn't grow up in the hood, they grew up with being white. What do you think he's gonna act like?
Yeah, for real.
He gonna act like that, and yeah, you know the West might not fully accept him, but they'll feel more comfortable. Like they're not gonna call them theirs, but they'll be more comfortable accepting them because of the vibe and stuff. So I feel like it's more like a social thing, really.
That's true. That's true. For me, I feel like no matter who I interact with, you know, I try to treat them as their own case. You know, this is another being in front of me. I'm going to treat them with respect, you know, and if it's given back to me, that's what's up. You know, but I do like to, for the most part, like for example, I hang out with a lot of different people. You know, white people, Asian people, Hispanic people, anybody. And we form like a group and we meet every Friday. And we skate, we have fun, it's a good time. And I like things like that where it's very inclusive and people that you never met. Like I have a friend, he's a good friend of mine, his name is John. He's like this dude, he's 50 years old, white guy. Like that you never imagined that I would be friends with. But I met him through skating and we were just chilling one day, we were in the car and he was just like, yo, isn't it crazy that I'm so white and like we're like best of friends? Like it was hilarious. So it's like things like that, you know, that gives me hope for the state of the world in general. You know, I feel like sometimes what we try to do is, you know, like, oh, if that's not, it's this white guy or some white people, like, oh, these black guys, you know, we're not gonna be a part of that. You know, we're gonna support this. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do this.
You wanna say black and white's trigger words?
You think it's a trigger word?
You wouldn't say it's a trigger word at times? Because let's be honest, if for other complexion call you black, you probably gonna trigger you.
If like a white dude is like, oh yeah,
oh look at this black dude.
I mean, it definitely depends on the context.
Yeah, but we all know your first impression wouldn't really be good.
Yeah, that's true.
Because you you already know what the stereotype is and everything, so it's like, damn, you can't call me by my name.
Yeah, for real.
That's the first thing you call me.
That's
true. Because
true.
come on, if somebody come approach you, that's the first thing. If a white guy came approach you, that's the first thing they approach you as. You not really gonna like it.
Yeah, that's true.
Would you like it? Because I know I wouldn't.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
I'd rather him first call me by my name, like.
In fact, and that's how I feel like that's how you build the good bonds. Just address people as people, treat them as people, no matter who they are, where they're from, and respect them. And that is where you start to break certain boundaries, and you form connections that maybe even if that dude was a little bit prejudiced, he'd be thinking in his mind, yo, you know, that one dude is mad cool. Like, maybe I should change the way I'm thinking. Maybe I should change the way I'm moving.
Yeah, you know, you could influence them.
Yeah. Exactly.
You can't influence all, but you could influence a few.
Exactly. All you can do is be you at the end of the day.
For real.
You know?
That's what I'm saying. It's, you know, sometimes, you know, it's better if we just be calm.
Facts.
Right.
For real.
Because if we become more calm, things will be more cool.
Facts. Sometimes, because certain things, they are very triggering, you know, and triggering things can at times cause rash behavior that sometimes you may regret. So every time, you know, even if I have a situation that's really triggering for me, or really puts me in a certain state, I always try to tell myself, yo, calm down and think about the future.
Yeah.
Think about what you're building. Think about all the possibilities that are there for you. And then, how much is this worth when I put those?
Yeah,
you know.
For me, when it comes to things like that, I look at it like this, right? I know drama always gonna mess with your money, and that's a fact. It probably is like a ticking bomb.
Nah, for real.
It might not start first, but later on it could just affect your money. So me, like when it comes to the situation like that, when I was younger, you know, I was more. But now, you know, I grew up, so I understand how life works. So, you know, like most times I just be like, it ain't worth it, cause, like, especially when you know what stage of life you at, when you doing good, like, you already know, like, if you start entertaining all those type of things, like, all it's gonna do is mess with your money and like, do you really wanna be back at square one? And I be thinking, I'm like, nah, cause I know I don't even have to. Like, all I have to do is just focus on my success and just keep focus on that. Don't let things distract you. Cause yeah, you know, sometimes things you do get hit with certain things and your obstacle to try to throw you off.
That's a fact.
Your goals and what you got want to achieve in life. So those are the things where, you know, we gotta focus on.
You started anything, huh, fellas?
No, we're on there now.
You started already? I didn't even know you guys were here.
Yeah, we on air right now.
Oh.
Yeah. Thank you.
You know what I'm saying, man? Yeah. So yeah, that's how we'll deal with situations like that. Yeah, like it's way better to just worry about your success, cause you know success is the best revenge for a lot of situations you're dealing with in life. Cause once you're able to overcome all those things, you know, that shows how strong of the individual you are.
For real. And sometimes when you're striving for success, you know, a lot of people, they can tend to even beat themselves up at a certain point. You know, it's always good also to take a step back, maybe look at the plan you had before and revise it, you know, when it comes to being successful.
Yeah.
That's one thing I definitely had to do.
I think I'm going through that right now.
Yeah, for real, like, because I'm just thinking I want to be a successful artist, you know. What do artists do? Create artwork. Yeah. So I've been doing tons of work for tons of people, you know, but that didn't give me the fulfillment that I was looking for as an artist, because as an artist I wanted to create my own art and share it with the world.
Yeah, I feel you. I feel that part, because, you know, like, for me, I would say, like, you know, before, like, giving to the world and all, but right now, like, I'm just focused, like, on trying to build my brand and make sure it's successful. That's really my goal right now, so that's my main focus, because, like, I already accomplished a few things, so
that's what's up.
Like, after you accomplish it, like, do I really want to accomplish the same thing over and over again? I wanna do new things, like, you know, let's set the bar higher.
What's going on?
Yeah, like right now I'm setting the bar higher. I'm like, yo, I mean, I already set the bar high before I accomplished that, so why go for the same thing over and over? Make it bigger. So like, that's really my goal right now. So, I mean, I believe my business is gonna be successful because I'm gonna put in the work to make sure it's successful.
As you should.
As you told about success, that goes back to how you and I met each other. You were saying, yo, every time I see you, like, you always dress professionally. Like, what exactly it is that you do. So, do you feel like success has a certain look to it?
I would definitely say, when I seen you, I saw the way you dressed yourself and was consistent. I saw a discipline behind it. So that's how I knew. I was like, he's doing something different. This guy got coming out like, oh, I'm like, damn, my son. Yeah, I was like, what's going on over here? So I was seeing consistently, you know, there was a discipline behind it, and I had to respect that. That's why, you know, I was curious. That's why I'm here now.
Yeah.
It's like,
yeah, facts. And it's funny how everything works. Because speaking of that, like, I was thinking about it today. Like, you know, like when I was young, my parents instilled in me that people judge you a lot based on the way you carry yourself. But since my parents, like, my parents are Haitian, I'm Haitian. So, like, and I grew up in the church, you know. So your first, you know, when you grow up in the church, every year you don't get a fresh outfit for school, you get a fresh suit. So like you get that one suit every year when you grow up Haitian. So like you end up having more dress up clothes than like regular clothes.
Yo, wow. At one point I did have more dress up clothes than regular.
Yeah, so like in elementary school I remember one day I'm like, yo, I'm gonna start wearing all of my church clothes to school. Like, I'm gonna see what happens. So I started doing that. They started calling me church boy. Like, yo, church boy, why you wear a suit all the time?
church
like,
boy got the drip now. Yo.
And I was like, yo, that's just how I dress, all right? And they was like, all right, you got it. So I was like, all right. So after that, I went into junior high. Like, when I went to junior high, that's when the ones that came out. And I'm like, yo, all those look like it's some expensive Uptowns. Because at the time, Uptown's like $70, and then ones was like 100, 120 the most.
Look how time passed by.
Yeah. So like I remember that, and then when I got into high school, that's when I started moving into like the designer. But at that time, everybody was wearing more hip hop designer, like Rockaware, Academics. Then came True Religion, and then came.
Used to be the Payless.
Yeah. But then I started getting drip. But then I knew that for me to get drip, like I would have to like get money, and I knew like I couldn't just, cause at the time my first job out of high school I believe was McDonald's. I think McDonald's was my first job. McDonald's in Canarsie, matter of fact. Shout out to the floors. So my first job was McDonald's, and then I was like, yo, I'm only making 150, 120 a week. Like the sneakers is like 150. Well, I'm gonna get one sneaker every week. Like
sneakers, no clothes.
Yeah, so you know, you had to I had to formulate a plot. I had to come up with a plan, and then I knew like what I wanted to wear. My parents couldn't afford it to me because they obviously had bills and they had other stuff they had to take care of, and so like I had to go and find a way for myself. Like I think at the age of 15 or 14 was the last time my parents took me school shopping. From I think 14, 15 and up, I've been buying my own stuff till now. So it's like that was the discipline that they put in me. Like, you know, my father was like, yo, if you're gonna wear a suit, make sure it's tailored. He used to bring me to the African tailors by Flatbush. You know, we used to get the suits. Everybody know Portobello, the plug. You know, and then, you know, slowly you graduated, you moved up into different brands, into different things, you know, and then you just apply those same principles at other places. Like we saw my school earlier with you guys, same thing. Like to finish college, you need to have discipline. It's not like you in school and you got truancy chasing you down, trying to bring you back to class and stuff like that, or your parents telling you go to class, go to school. Like, nah, if you mess up in school, then life is gonna be a little bit harder.
Yeah.
That's a fact.
Yeah, like the one thing about school is you always got something to fall back on. Always, you know, like I make a lot of different entrepreneurial moves, but I can't say I don't have the backing of school and education, because I do. Like that's something that I make sure
The
that
safety net.
yeah, like even when at that time I felt like yeah, I'm getting money, like I'm making a lot of money at this time. I knew that if I was to have a family, if I was to have kids, if I was to have bigger bills, like all this is affording me is just clothes, you know, going out, maybe a car, but you know, you always gotta level up, and when you're responsible for other people, then you know you gotta level up even more. And you know, I guess that's where that envy and hate come from, because I was listening to a podcast the other day. It was Say Cheese, matter of fact. It was two guys. Mo3, he's a rapper, right? Mo3 is a rapper. He got killed on the freeway. Some people say it was over a girl. And there was another rapper. I forget the other guy's name. But the other guy was saying basically like, yo, this guy dissed me for 3 years. This guy's mad at me. I never did nothing to this guy. Like, why he upset? He was like, they saying I can't rap. I can't. He was like, I just started rapping like a year ago. But look, I'm making money off rap. Like I'm selling out shows. I'm signed to a label now, and people mad. Like probably their whole life they went to talent shows, they practiced, they put their heart in everything, and they didn't make it. And like, wow, this guy made it.
I feel like one thing,
People need to stop watching people too much.
for real, and failure breeds envy when they don't get back up and revise their plan. 'Cause
Exactly.
the only person I feel like I was ever feeling good about being competitive against was myself.
Yeah.
And 'cause you gotta get better. It's about building you, the character that you aspire to be. So yeah, I notice, you know, when it comes to watching other people, you gotta stay to yourself. You can take advice if somebody's, you know, more successful than you and learn from them.
My advice for those that when somebody watch you a little too much, distance it. It's that simple, because that's like a red flag. Like, why are you watching me so much? You know what I'm saying? Because like for me, like the way I grew up and all that, like I came from a household that was mad humble and stuff. So like watching other people, that was not really what I was trying to do. I was trying to get things done on my own, because mama and daddy wasn't giving me the right to do stuff. So I wouldn't say like some of the things I wanted to do or want. It was because I grew up in I would say Christian household, just a bit. So, you know, they had the little strict Christian rules and all, so I had to get things on my own. So from that point, I wasn't really watching, you know, other people, because I don't know if I'm watching you too much, then it's like I ain't getting nothing done. That's one thing I knew about people, just other people watching people too much. Like, because you're not getting nothing done, bro. It's like you focus on this when all that time you could have utilized of reading a book, or you know, trying to figure out how you gonna make it to the next level. Or
Facts.
Cause like every day, like we supposed to try to better ourselves. We look at the situation we in now, and we got like, yo, 3 months, I don't want to be in this situation no more. I want to be doing way better than I was right now. So I mean, it took me a while to really learn that. You know, it took me a life lesson that hit me real hard, but I enjoyed that life lesson though. Because that was the best life lesson ever to me. That's why I named my business Zero Enterprise.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
Yeah, bro. Like when I had zero, I said that like, yo, I gotta change. Cause if I don't, I'm gonna be right back here again. So I had to switch it up. And I made sure, like, from that, I learned that, you know, all these people keep telling you that, yo, you're supposed to only have, if you have a plan A, just stick with it, you're gonna be successful, bro. You don't know what tomorrow comes with, so it's always good to have multiple backups just in case, because, I mean, the best example to use is most people in New York City got 2 jobs. What do you hear? Who do you hear right now got 1 job in New York City, most people, and could live decent or good enough? You can't. Why? Because you need multiple.
Yeah.
Like, prices is rising, so what do you mean one is gonna last you? Like, we've been past that time where one job is doing you great. That probably was when Jordans was like, what, $70 or something like that? Not no more. So clearly you need other ideas. Unless you get a very great job, and most of those great jobs, what? You gotta go to school for it. You probably gotta have, bachelors probably don't get you that type of job. But a master's would though. Because the bachelor's, I think that's just like the bare minimum right now. Just for you to just
That's very true.
Have something to do. Because I think you have to have a master's to really where you be like, yo, I don't really need to have 2 jobs. Yeah, you can have it because you know it's beneficial if you're trying to have a way bigger picture. But you know, you do need a master's right now. So that's why I always tell people, like, don't be listening to these people when they tell you just stick to plan A and you're going to solve it. I give you multiple examples so I know you need a few plans.
Definitely. Revise that plan as needed.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying?
So let me ask you a question now. You grew up in Brooklyn?
Yes.
So what kept you away from certain things in Brooklyn? Like what got you into art, skateboarding, and those things instead of the streets?
All the credit goes to my mom. She had me at a young age. She was like 19 and she lived in Brownsville in the projects. She was like, nah, like no matter what, you know, she had an older brother. She was like, I can't raise him here if he's gonna be good in the mind. So she took me out because, you know, she didn't want me around bad influences, and I kind of just developed on my own, from like ages, I guess, from like until I was like 14. I would, you know, go outside, and when I would go outside, it wouldn't be to really socialize. It would be I would skate a lot. You know, I would try to learn tricks, and that's what I feel like also instilled the discipline to continue to make mistake and get up from it and try to do better. Like learn how to do this creative skill. Because of course, you know, I guess I feel like I was naturally alright at art, but then there comes that natural talent, and then there comes that hitting it on that grindstone every day, you know, grinding it out, making sure that you have that skill, you know, improving on it. So I feel like it's definitely, that's the biggest influence on that. For sure.
Right.
So your mom.
Yeah.
The environment you live on, it's right. The environment you live on has a big impact on how your kids will turn out.
For real.
The environment one, and if the environment with the friends match is like, woohoo, a little tastic. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it's like if you have the environment, but you just ended up going with the type of people that don't fit that environment, then you be like, yeah, you lucky. Because, you know, some people be lucky, but it all depends. But you're definitely right, though. It all really depends on. Your mom really did good. She like, nah, I can't raise you in Brownsville because it's like, what, 99.99 that you don't end up turning into a hood. 99. Matter of fact, it's 99.99 chance you ended up turning into a hood. So she said, yeah, I'm taking you out. She like, you're not about to be posted up on the block. I come to the crib and I see you right in front of my doorstep.
For real.
So let me ask y'all a question. If y'all could obtain one goal before the end of the year, what would it be?
What would it be? I want to have a match level of happiness and then difficulty with what I'm pursuing in life. I feel like those go together because they make you better consistently over time. Because I don't want to be just completely happy with something, because then that's where the allure fades. It's that level of difficulty with anything that makes it challenging and keeps you learning, keeps you improving. So that's what my goal is.
For me, my goal right now, since I'm finishing on building the brand, I say, wait, by December?
Yeah, before the end of the year.
Yeah, by December. My main goal is like to create, you know, I'm not going to give a number because I'm just not, I just keep that personal. But the goal is for my business to make some revenue, I would just say. Yeah, like start building some revenue. That's really I'll say. Because I ain't about to give the number on air.
Gonna make it happen, all of us.
Yeah.
Every day wake up, even those days you feel like,
I'm just gonna
God, bro. Gotta do what you gotta do.
That's a fact. But yeah, that's my goal. Because that's really what I'm focused on right now. Trying to make the business blow up.
That's what's up.
I already feel like I accomplished a few things this year. It's starting to be old news to me now. So like, now I got new motivations.
Me before the year is done with me, like I wanna, of course, I wanna help my church finally close on a building. So I wanna fix a lot of things in my personal life, get my life in order. I ain't gonna hold you. 3. I would like to also.
Are we doing 3?
Nah, I'm just giving a list of things that
I got a list. He said I'm making it happen.
He said it was just one.
You making it happen.
Yeah, for the company, of course, I want more funding. I'm still working on finding funders, finding investors. I'm in a couple pitch challenges where like I pitched the company to investors. So that's something I've been doing for a lot. A lot of people don't know about that. I like to get my license, so I could be a licensed social worker before the end of this year. So that way, I'll get closer to getting my clinician's license, so I could open up my own private practice. It's a couple things I want to do. Probably pay off some debt, obviously, like everybody else. Stack a good amount of money and get a good returns on all my investments. That'll close out the year good. Maybe bring out another Rolls Royce at the end of this year. This is wild.
Yeah. Oh, I add one more thing. Like, I'm trying to make like merchandise too. Like I want to create clothes, pins. Cause honestly, I think I could make that. I think I could make that happen. I could step my foot into the clothing industry and do it. I mean, I had a few people that told me I should. That's hyping me up to do it. Cause you be like, yo, you already drip, so you might as well start making your own merch. And I'm like, that don't sound like a bad idea. Cause I mean, I could just, turn the business into. Cause I'm not trying to make my business limited. I want to be able to sell mad things. Just not clothes, electronics, and everything. So yeah, I want to empire basically. I'm gonna just be tagging the logo on everything I put.
That's what's up.
Everything I put, just tag it away. Like, this is who you got it from.
And then one day, eventually put on the chain, right?
I mean, it's definitely gonna come with a chain, but oh shoot. That's gonna be some TP. I'm gonna just work to see if I could achieve that quicker.
I mean, sometimes you don't gotta go too fast, cause you gotta do slow and steady. Like,
nah, I'm be steady, cause I mean, I know this business aspect is kind of new. Well, like as an official under the government with taxes and all that. So yeah, it's new with me. But the thing about me, like I always learn from I don't look at my L's as bad. I just look at them like, alright, now I know what to do for next time. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I don't never look at my L's as bad. I think I be more humble. I love my L's more than my W's, because my W's is like I ain't really winning them. I'm just lit. But my W's, that's when I learned, what could I adjust so that L I had, it won't be on repeat. So I enjoy the L's way more. That's why when they come to me, I just be like, thank you.
Facts.
So what's some valuable lessons that you've learned in life?
Valuable lessons?
Yeah.
Like, I guess to elaborate on what he said, you can never live a life without mistakes. It's just taking those mistakes and learning from it and changing your approach. I feel like that's a lesson that's recurrent forever, onwards. No matter what situation you're in, you're always going to change. Circumstances are going to change. The world's going to change. It's about taking those
and you gotta adapt.
Yeah,
That's really one of the key words of to be successful. You gotta know how to adapt.
For real.
Cause times gonna change, and we was talking about it. People was wearing these type of jeans back then. We don't even see those jeans no more.
Real.
So you gotta basically, if you know how to adapt, I think it doesn't matter what environment you're in, you're gonna be successful.
Mm-hmm.
You might not be at, maybe this environment you was here, in the other environment you're not up there, but you're able to adapt. So some people adapt different. Some people take more time. Some people, it all depends on the mind.
For real. And another lesson I feel like is important is like, even if you feel like something is gonna look silly or people are gonna think that is whack or that people are gonna clown you, man, do whatever you need to do.
Yeah,
because at the end of the day, it's for you. Yeah, so everybody, nobody wants to fail. Nobody wants to look stupid, but you gotta get your feet wet. You gotta get in it. You gotta get in it. Yeah.
And some people can't. So it's like this. You gotta if you could be able to swing a punch, you gotta be able to take a punch. And some people when they get hit, they be like, oh
shit, nah, I'm done.
Yeah,
they drop it.
They
don't want to do it no more.
You can knock somebody out, but until you be that right opponent, and then they come and hit you, it's like, now what you gonna do?
Yeah.
Mike Tyson used to say that. He said everybody has a plan until they get punched in the mouth. Then you don't know what to do.
Exactly. So that's what I'm saying. Like, some people don't know what to do when they get punched in the mouth. Then they be like, oh snap. I ain't got no other plan.
Yeah.
One thing I've learned from my lessons of success along with my losses is one thing you always gotta do is try to stay as consistent as possible. It's back to what you were saying about being consistent, being disciplined. Like always being a genuine person and a friend. Not switching up. Like those are things that a lot of people find hard to do nowadays. So. Like, that's one of the things that I've always learned, even when it comes to business, be consistent. Same thing with church, try to always be consistent. Like, I was a youth leader in church since 2015, 7 years. So, the consistency. And this is my last year, and I can't say that I've been as consistent this last year as I was other years, but... Hey,
it's alright. COVID killed a lot of things,
Yeah, it's what it is. But
we ain't been in church, so how you gonna be able to, always interact with the youth every week, every weekend?
I mean, there's ways you could try, I guess. But even with the company, like we consistently doing the show, we consistently helping people, and even now people seeing it, they're like, wow, y'all still out there helping people, even between all of that, like. There's a lot of people that's not willing to do it themselves, but even when they see people doing it, they're like, all right, that could spark a little change in them. They're like, all right, one day I'm gonna do that eventually, because we all need positive things to see, and through every loss, like you do learn a lesson through it, and most likely, like if you take that lesson and you apply it and you share it with other people, that's why I said. A smart man learns from his mistakes. A wise man learns from the mistakes of others. So you could take the losses of other people and turn it into a lesson too. Pay attention to the signs.
That's a fact.
That's one of the ways I look at it.
That's definitely a fact. It's just not your losses you could look at. You could look at others' losses too. And learn and be like, I know when I go through this situation, I shouldn't do this.
For real.
Yeah, it helps a lot. So closing thoughts. Before you leave, tell the people where they can find you at. Tell the people more about your brand, whatever else you want to tell them.
Definitely.
And where they can find it, and leave them with a closing thought.
Definitely. So my website is Chiaka.com. It's CH7AKA.com. You can see a couple of the artwork I've created, all the request form if you want to get something completed, stuff like that. That's there. My Facebook, my name is Chiaka Naze. I just put all of my stuff on my personal Facebook, and I just add like everybody to that big mound of just life and in creation. And you can see all my work on my Facebook, Chiaka Naze. Definitely hit me up anytime, I'll respond. Other than that, a closing thought is, no matter what you're pursuing, it all feels worthless if you don't have the right people around you to give you that support. Sometimes when you may be weak, you may be losing hope, those friends around you that are going to be there for you when it matters the most. Like what you said before, like staying true, building good bonds with people who are important to you and that's going to last. That's also very important. So, yeah.
Sure. My closing thought for me is, it don't matter what you're going through in life, man. Don't give up on your goals. Stick by them. When you achieve goals, create goals that's at a higher pedestal, so you can keep being motivated and keep going. Because it's better to do that than to achieve a goal than you just stop and be like, alright, I'm done.
Well, my closing thought is, don't listen too much to what the naysayers are gonna say, because people are always gonna project their insecurities upon you. I would say just focus more on the bigger picture. Like, if you're able to help others, do so. I mean, you see what we're doing, www.therealwordministriesinc.org. You could follow us everywhere. Just Google The Real Word Ministries Inc.org or The Real Word Ministries Inc. Just Google us and you'll see the work that we've put in, the things that we've done, how consistent we've been in. Well, you could Google me, and you see how consistent the work that I've put in. You just gotta be consistent. I think humility and respect does go a long way. I think that goes a long way, especially when working with one another. Like, one thing that I've read recently, and they were saying that you never want to cut everyone off, because the more, it's like this table, right? You see how this table, it has one pole going straight down. If we was to cut it at the pole, it'll be done, right? But at the bottom of the table, it has multiple legs that's stretching out, and it's the multiple legs that stretch out that helps you create the bigger picture. Like, there's a lot of people that's connected to different things, so I never try to write people off. But I think respect and humility and patience and communication, those are all important things when it comes to building something bigger than you. So that's something that I had to learn in business, not something I had to learn in life. Your character's gonna talk even in your absence. Your character's gonna talk even in your absence, meaning that if everyone knows you to be consistent, if someone wants to come and lie or say whatever, they're like, nah, that's not him. He don't move like that.
For a fact. That happened to me before. People start hating. People, especially people, they gravitate towards and they latch onto hate more than productive or supportive or good news. A lot of the times. So, I had so many clients, I was doing my thing. Somebody's like, oh, don't do business with this guy because this, But that didn't affect anything because everybody's like, I already been around this dude. I've been doing this with him for so long. Like,
just keep going.
Yeah, just keep going. Don't worry about that. Don't give it the attention. You didn't deserve it.
You stop. Then it's like they win.
Exactly.
You just gotta keep going. I mean, at the end of the day, it's your brand. It's your brand, so you always gonna have that.
Facts. So shout out to all the brand creators, all the content creators, all the entrepreneurs, all the street, legal, 9 to 5, college, everybody that's out there doing something. It's better to do something than doing nothing at all. So we thank you.
Construction administrator.
So we thank you for joining us today. Again, you can always donate $ the Real Word Inc. That's the $ the Real Word INC on the Cashapp. You can also donate to PayPal Giving Fund. You go to www.therealwordministriesinc.org/donate. So we thank you all for joining us today. We thank you all for being here. We thank you for being consistent with us. I don't know if you pray. Do you pray?
Yeah.
Okay, so you close out with a prayer.
Nice. Oh, it's me.
Yeah.
Oh, shoot. It's on me. Oh, it's on me.
Yeah, that's why I asked you.
Our Heavenly Father, however you may believe it to be, the Creator, I thank you for bringing me here and bringing me around people who are productive, and have dreams in life, goals, aspirations. Despite the hardships and the turmoils, we always push on. We find new ways to live and excel and just be success itself. That's one thing I do love and one thing I do appreciate. You know, name your shoot. I am praying a minute. But listen, man.
Amen. Amen, amen. So we thank you all for watching. We thank you all for supporting. We thank you all for coming on and spending time with us today. Thank you. God bless and good night.
It's the real word. It's the real